Hi, Deb. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, thank you. How are you doing?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Audra.
How long has Kathy at New England Models Group worked with Excel?
Kathy has worked with Excel for, I'm going to say, well over 20 years. She's known Melissa and Summer through working at the International Model and Talent Association, and they have, I have to say, she has wonderful feedback. She says you're one of the best agents that she has worked with, and she also said she was recently visiting you at a search, and you had other agents there too. And she had the best time. You were so hospitable, and she came back and she raved about all of you
guys. Oh, well, we had so much fun, and she is a blast to be with. So, yes,
well,
the Excel Showcase was definitely a success. It went really
good. Good.
Why did Kathy and Cindy create the European Model Showcase 15 years ago?
Well, they've known each other a long time, and they actually met in Paris. They decided, well, I think they saw that Europe is really the training ground, and they would take models for 8 weeks at a time. A lot of the New York booking boards might have 30 models that they have in their agency, and there's so much more work in Europe. You might get a Mademoiselle or Cosmopolitan, Elle magazine for each country, whereas here it's just the one that covers the whole of the United States. So they saw there was a need for models. They're willing to develop brand new models in Europe, and that's how they started it all.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
When and where is the European Model Showcase held?
The European Model Showcase is held in Paris, the heart of Paris. It's actually in a beautiful area. It's held in May of 2021, the very end of May, the 31st of June, the 3rd, often because it's Memorial Day and people that are students can not miss as much school as they would normally. But it's a beautiful area. It's held at the Hilton, one of the only Hiltons, I think, in Paris. But you have the Louvre very close by. Of course, if you love fashion and shopping, there's the Galeries Lafayette and Printemps. And it's just a really great time of year because the weather is usually very nice.
Well, that's really exciting. I think Paris is probably the most sought after city that most people I know want to go visit. So that's really exciting that the Louvre is really close, and Hilton honors people will love that it's at a Hilton, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yes, yeah, definitely. And they are very accommodating to Americans and English people, and the hotel is beautiful. It's just, I've stayed in hotels before where you send your luggage up ahead of you, and then you go up afterwards. But no, it's a very beautiful hotel with accommodating staff.
And don't you guys train them or send us training on how to get them prepared to be in a foreign country with a different language? Will you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, absolutely. We've actually set up 12 different webinars because obviously it's this time right now. We can't see too many people in person. We've set up some webinars to educate some of the models on, the customs of Europe, what they look for, what the agents look for. It's very clean photos in Europe. They're not looking for really glamorous, they're looking for very natural type of shots. So we have somebody that talks about the photos. We also do a little bit of runway. We have some models that also come on and speak about their experiences to really help you. And we're happy to share that too with you.
That's awesome. That's great. Very good.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the showcase and how it works?
Sure. It's not a convention. It's not a competition. There are no awards. It's really, really nice because it's a day of meeting with the agents. And we call it a go-see day. So, of course, it's literally go see the agents. And they come in from all over Europe. You've got agents that come in from Barcelona, of course, Paris. You've got London. There's Hamburg, Munich, and they're all coming in to meet with new models. So it's a day of meeting with them, and then there's 2 days afterwards that you can, if you have interest in, or they have interest in the models, they then set up meetings in Paris to come into their agencies, and they can meet with the rest of their bookers. A lot of times it might just be, you know, a scout that's come in from the agency. So they have to get the approval of all the other agents in the agency. So it's a good time to come in and meet with them all. Some of them have 7 bookers, 5 bookers, and they have to have at least, you know, if it's 7, 5 bookers that all agree that they would like to take that model on. But it's nice because you're meeting with every single agent that's there. So all these agents that have come in, they're meeting with the model, they're taking a look at their book. If they meet the height requirement, probably 5'10", 5'11", then they'll also have them walk. So, you know, it's the print part of it, and the books are very, very important. And I always say less is more. So, you know, if you have 25 pictures in your book, then generally you put the ones at the end that aren't so good, and I would remember those ones. So I usually say maybe 8 to 10 pictures, make the very first one the best, and then the last one the second best. So that's my memory. And so you're meeting with, or the models are actually meeting with the agents. They're, you know, talking to them. If they feel that they can, you know, make their showrooms, then they'll actually have them walk. And then again, if they want to bring them back to their agencies, they have 2 more days while they're there in Paris, to meet with them. You know, obviously, you know, the directors can't fly to Barcelona or to Milan the next 2 days, but what they'll then do is take down all the information, go back to their countries, share all that information with their booking boards, and then they will contact the director and say, you know, we're very interested in this model. Perhaps they can come out at, you know, in June or July. It's funny, but, you know, I grew up in Europe, and August they closed down, except for Germany. August, I don't know whether they think it's too hot and everybody has to sleep, but they don't do anything in August, so you can't really reach them. So it's really June and July, and then it may even be September. And you know, some models, if they, you know, can actually live out of their suitcase, and that agent is interested in them, they'll say, look, you know, we'll take you and show you the model's apartment, we'll give you a stipend, and we'll get you some testings, and let's have you here for a month, and let's see how you do. Are you willing to stay? Which is always really nice. It doesn't happen like that all the time. And of course, some people and some of the models have to come back. They might have graduation, or they might have a wedding, and then the director just really negotiates when they go back out. But it's not competitions, it's just meetings. So I would say, you know, if you were traveling to Europe and you had to meet with these people, you'd be going to all these different countries, and they're all coming to one place to meet with the new models, and it's new models. You don't have to be developed. That's what they like. You haven't learnt any bad ways, as they say. Picked up any bad habits.
That makes sense. That's really good. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity if that person is ready and right. Of course, everybody wants to go to Paris. Who doesn't want to go to Paris? But there's certain requirements, and there's sizes, and that's really, you know, it's really very important, because they're only fashion models, not actors. It's not commercial models. They're looking for fashion models that meet the height requirements, size requirements.
Right.
And it's just, like I said, a wonderful opportunity to be seen. Yeah.
That's awesome.
How would a model sign up for the European Model Showcase?
Okay, so because Excel is an approved member of the European Model Showcase, they would contact Excel to set up an audition, and then you can actually meet with them, determine if there's the potential, meet the height requirements, the size requirements, and photograph well. And I'll be honest, you know, everybody thinks, oh, when you're a model, you're traditionally beautiful, you're handsome. Sometimes it's that unique model that who perhaps doesn't even think that they could be a model. There is what we're looking for. So that's what I would say is how you would start out. Come and meet with you, and then you can determine the potential, and if you think they're right for the European markets, then you would work with them, take them to Paris, or have someone else represent you to look after them while they're in Paris as well. But that's how it works. They do have to be seen and auditioned first.
Do you have any tips for the models?
Lots of tips actually, but not just exercising, eating well, and of course drinking lots of water. That's a given, that's expected. I think too, people don't always realize it's about personality. There's a lot of beautiful people, again, a lot of handsome people, but what is going to set you aside from that other model is being able to walk into a room and command some presence. Have a great personality, be confident, be professional, not arrogant. Everybody wants to work with somebody who's fun and kind. So keep that in mind. It's not just how you look, it's everything. It's like the total package. I often will say to somebody when I meet with them, tell me something about yourself that I wouldn't know by looking at you. And everybody gets a bit flustered because they go, oh, I don't know, I like modeling or I like acting, and I know that's why you're here. But tell me something that I couldn't tell. I mean, would you want to be a football coach, or do you have pet rats? So that tells me somebody's interested, so that I definitely think is very, very important. And then a tip, if you're really thinking about Europe, is learn how to pronounce some of the designer names. I've heard Versace instead of Versace. I've heard Gucci instead of Gucci. They like to know, those agents that are meeting with the models, that you've done some homework, that you have an interest in being there. And if you know how to pronounce some of the designers' names that maybe you might end up working with, I mean, you don't have to buy their clothes, but at least know a little bit about them. And also probably look at their websites, because a lot of times you go straight to their main boards and you think, oh my goodness, I've seen Elle magazine, the cover, and I've seen Cosmopolitan. I don't have this type of work. But then if you go to their new faces, or you go to their development, then you see all the new models that they're working with, and they're very simple pictures. They're not tear sheets of anything, because then you can see that, oh, you could fit into this. I think when you start seeing all these wonderful tear sheets, you're like, oh, I don't have that. How could I possibly get that? So everybody starts somewhere. And that's really important, I think, just looking at their websites.
Yeah, that's very good. That's really good. Thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome.
It was really nice meeting you. Bye.
Bye-bye. It was really nice meeting you too.
Such great information. Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Oh, my pleasure. And thank you for inviting me to talk about European Model Showcase.